usafiri wa kurudi hakuna, magari yamejaa na yakiwepo mabovu. Lakini wanaporudi ofisini wanapigiwa simu, mbona habari yangu, mbona taarifa yangu imechelewa kutoka, wakati wanasahau waliwaacha kwenye tukio kule field. Mheshimiwa, leo utakapozungumza nao hawa, wanataka kusikia huruma yao. Tukiwa kwenye maadhimisho ya miaka 60 ya muungano wetu wa Tanganyika na Zanzibar, tafadhali tunaomba useme kitu kuhusu maisha ya wanahabari hawa. Huu ni muhimili imara wa demokrasia. Bila wanahabari hawa, masikio yetu lazima yatakuwa na giza kubwa la taarifa. Watakuwa na macho yasiyoona tusiposikia chochote kuhusiana na fikra ya kinifu. Wako tayari kufanya mabadiliko, na UTPC kama mlezi, kama mwamvuli ambao unasimamia shughuli hii na umoja huu na usalama wao wa kimazingira, maeneo ya kazi na usalama katika shughuli zao, wako tayari kuungana kwa umoja wao, wasikie jambo kutoka kwako. Mheshimiwa Nape, jana usiku nimezungumza na wewe. Tunamshukuru sana Mheshimiwa Rais kwa kufungulia vyombo vya habari. Tumekuwa uhuru kwenye vyombo vya habari. Hakuna chombo cha habari kilichofungiwa mpaka hivi sasa, licha ya changamoto. Lakini tunaomba mabadiliko ya tabia nchi inaliangamiza taifa letu. Mvua zilizonyesha, watu wamepata hasara, miundombinu imeharibika, wakulima wamepata hasara kwa sababu tu wamekosa habari za uhakika sahihi kutoka kwa wanahabari. Wanahabari, twendeni tukaiokoe Dumeli, twendeni. Simama kidogo, simama habari, twendeni okoe dunia, UTPC oye! Simama! Iliko. Sema kitu Waziri Mkuu. Sema kitu Waziri Mkuu.
Makofi na vigelegele kwa Mpoto bendi. Asante Mpoto bendi. Naomba makofi ya kutosha kwa Mpoto bendi. Mheshimiwa mgeni rasmi, sasa tunakwenda kusikiliza taarifa kutoka kwa mabalozi ambao wako hapa. Kwa ridhaa yako naomba niwaite. Next, we are going to hear statements from the ambassadors. And to start with, I would like to welcome His Excellency Ambassador Didier Chassot, Ambassador to Tanzania from Switzerland. Please. Jamani, makofi ya kutosha.
Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Minister, leaders and officials present, invited guests, dear colleagues, partners and friends, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, habari za asubuhi. Good morning and thank you for the warm welcome. It is a pleasure and a privilege to be here in Dodoma today for the World Press Freedom Day 2024 commemorations. Kwanza, nitoe shukrani zangu za dhati kwa walioandaa tukio ili wakiongozwa na Union of Tanzania Press Club, UTPC, kwa kunialika tena kuja kushiriki kwenye maadhimisho ya siku ya uhuru wa habari. Mwaka jana pia Zanzibar nilipata fursa kama hii. Asanteni sana. Hii ni heshima kubwa kwangu na kwa Uswisi. Sasa naomba mniruhusu nitumie Kiingereza ili tuweze kumaliza kabla ya lunch. Distinguished participants, dear partners, dear friends, Switzerland is a long-standing supporter of the media in Tanzania because we believe that the media is the lifeblood of a functioning democratic society. In particular, over the past 4 years, we have partnered with international media support and through them UTPC and a number of local actors to support safety for journalists. We work with the BBC Media Action to promote gender equality and support financial viability of rural radios across the country. We contribute to the University of Dar es Salaam's School of Journalism and Mass Communication, who produces the annual yearbook on media quality, a vital resource for media stakeholders to reflect on the performance of the media sector in Tanzania. We have also worked with Jamii Media to support online media, particularly those owned by female journalists, and we have partnered with Internews to promote media viability. Reflecting on last year's commemoration in Zanzibar, I am reminded of the government's pledge from both the mainland and Zanzibar to improve media laws, a commitment that was met with both hope and anticipation. In Tanzania mainland, the bill was in Parliament at the time, while in Zanzibar, the conference was informed that the new media services bill would go to the House of Representatives soon, and that it was 80% done. It is encouraging that as we meet today, a year later, significant progress has been made. The amendment of the Media Services Act for Tanzania mainland, which now includes provisions for social security and insurance for media professionals, marks a positive step forward in enhancing media freedom and protecting journalists' rights. There are also ongoing efforts, we know, to review the media policy. Hongereni sana. However, while we celebrate these achievements, we must also recognize that the journey is not over yet. Indeed, of the 21 recommendations put forth by stakeholders to the Parliament on the mainland to improve media legislations and practice, only 8 have been implemented. Furthermore, in Zanzibar, the promise to pass a new media law remains unfulfilled. On the other hand, we also need to acknowledge that newsrooms need to improve, especially for female journalists. A report that the Tanzania Media Women Association, TAMWA, released in November last year, a report that looked at sexual harassment in the newsroom, found that 77% of respondents reported experiencing sexual harassment within their respective media outlets. Therefore, beyond engaging authorities to improve legislation, there is also a need for focus in improving the situation in the newsroom. Media managers, for instance, need to be the first responders in cases of emergency. Furthermore, organizations like UTPC and the Media Council of Tanzania continue to record incidents of press freedom violations. In 2023, these have included arrests and detentions, denials of access to information or access to sources or stories, assault, and threats. These gaps highlight the need for continued advocacy and multi-stakeholder dialogue to ensure a shared understanding of the vital role that the media plays in the society and the need to support the media so that it effectively fulfills this role. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, turning now to the theme of the day, let me emphasize how a free and independent media is indeed essential in the ongoing fight to mitigate climate change and environment risks. Reliable information plays a critical role in shaping public understanding and awareness and shaping public policy regarding environmental issues. Accurate reporting can inform and educate the public about the severity of environmental crisis, the impact of human activities, and the urgency of taking action. It also plays a most important role in holding duty bearers and the private sector accountable for their environmental policies and practices. Yet, journalists reporting on environmental issues often face significant challenges. These can include access to accurate information, political and economic pressures, censorship, and sometimes even personal danger when investigating sensitive environmental matters. There is also the challenge of conveying complex scientific information in a way that is understandable and engaging to the general public. Protecting freedom of expression and creating a conducive environment thus ensures media diversity and a plurality of voices and perspectives on environmental issues, which, just like for any other issues, is essential for a well-informed public discourse. This goes hand in hand with media literacy, which empowers the audience to critically evaluate the information presented to them. The current heavy rains and floods in Tanzania, which have resulted in the tragic loss of human lives, are a stark reminder of the challenges we are facing. The country is experiencing flooding that has been exacerbated by El Niño, which is known to cause extreme weather patterns such as droughts and floods globally. The heavy rainfall has been one of the most intense ever recorded in the region. And yes, individual weather events can't always be directly attributed to climate change, but the overall pattern of increased frequency and intensity of such events is consistent with what scientists expect from a warming planet, a significant aspect of the environmental crisis that the world is facing. In Tanzania, as in most developing economies, the impact is particularly severe due to the country's vulnerability to extreme weather events, which underscores the need for robust infrastructure and preparedness measures to mitigate the effects of climate change. In that sense, it is in all our best interest that we foster a press that not only informs but also inspires action across all sectors of society to address the full scope of the crisis, ensuring a sustainable future for all. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, let me turn briefly to another important topic for which the role of the press, a free and independent press, is crucial. Indeed, as we look ahead to the upcoming civic and general elections, the importance of a free and independent media cannot be overstated. The media plays a critical role in informing the public, providing a platform for diverse voices, and holding those in power accountable. Therefore, it is imperative that we all work together to safeguard media and civic spaces, ensuring that they remain open, inclusive, and free from undue influence. Allow me, therefore, to urge both the Union government and the government of Zanzibar and all relevant stakeholders to continue engaging in constructive dialogue to ensure that citizens fully enjoy their right to be informed during these important democratic processes. Having said that, I will simply conclude by thanking and congratulating again the organizers, participants, and all those who continue to champion press freedom in Tanzania and around the world. Your dedication to upholding the principles of free expression and journalistic independence is both inspiring and essential. Let us all pledge to continue this important work, ensuring that the media remains a pillar of democracy and a beacon of truth. I wish you all a fruitful and enlightening conference. Asanteni sana kwa kunisikiliza.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Balozi Didier Chaso. Atakayefuata sasa, Mheshimiwa mgeni rasmi, ni Balozi wa Marekani nchini Tanzania, Mheshimiwa Balozi Michael Bato. Is that Bato or Beto? My apologies if I've pronounced it. I think it's like the Beto. Bato. My apologies. Next time I'm sure I'll be okay. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa Balozi.
Honorable Prime Minister of the United Republic of Tanzania, leaders, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observe. Habari za asubuhi. It is my pleasure to join you here for this momentous occasion of World Press Freedom Day. Since 1993, the entire world has joined in commemoration of this important principle. It is wonderful to see the government of Tanzania represented so well, the members of the United Nations, UNESCO, and the Union of Tanzanian Press Club leading this year's celebration. The time is ripe for Tanzanians across this beautiful and vast, wealthy, prosperous country, and for people across the entire global community to consider the values that are universally recognized, the values of human rights. With two vital elections approaching next year and this year in Tanzania, and with vital and critical elections approaching in the US and in many other parts of the world, it is important for the global community to recognize the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights nearly 50 years ago, and to recognize that it is important now as it was important then, and it will always be important to the freedom of the world. I would like to read just a brief portion of that document from 50 years ago, Article 19 of the International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. And it says, everyone should have the right to hold opinions without interference. Everyone should have the right of the freedom of expression. This right shall include freedom to speak, freedom to seek, receive, and to impart information and ideas of all kinds, regardless of frontiers, either orally, in writing, in print, in the form of art, or through any other media of his or her choice. In fact, it is important to know that Tanzania signed that document before the United States of America signed the document. So in that sense, we were learning from Tanzania 50 years ago. And in many ways, we are continuing to learn from Tanzania as Tanzania also learns from us. In the United States Constitution, our first 10 amendments are commonly referred to as the Bill of Rights. The very first right outlined in the First Amendment is the right to freedom of speech, which also guarantees implicitly and explicitly the freedom of the press. Freedom of the press is a basic prerequisite to freedom for the people. A free press is indeed the oxygen of a healthy democracy. In this age of mis- and disinformation, the onus has never been more on the public to verify their news sources and to make sure that media houses earn the public trust through truthful and responsible reporting. It is true that we have immense freedom. And as the Regional Commissioner for Dodoma has said today, it is equally true that with great freedom comes great responsibility. And the greater the freedom, the greater the responsibility. And for the press, it is true. You have the freedom to report anything you see, anything you hear, anything you observe. You have the equal responsibility to make sure that you study and research and to make sure that what you report is indeed true and can be verified by outside and additional information and data. Simply to have information unverified, untested, is like having a chatterbox where people say anything they want to say simply because they want to say it. But a responsible press has an obligation to research and to investigate and to make sure that the veracity of what they say can be verified by independent and external sources. Press freedom informs an informed citizenry, and an informed citizenry can make informed decisions on the best directions for the people. An informed citizenry can make informed decisions about who is best able to lead them. Since coming to Tanzania, I've been very impressed with the wide variety of journalists I've engaged with. From the citizen journalists like the Jimmy Forum, and from the professional journalists of the national outlets who I've had the pleasure of interviewing with. I commend you for the work you are doing to advance Tanzania's democracy. Collectively, your work educates the public. Quality journalism, however, depends heavily on quality information. And open data is the foundation to a free press. This is why I'm proud to take this occasion today to announce the publishing of a report by Aid Data, which is a data research firm out of the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia, which assesses the value of aid and development given by the U.S. and by other entities to Tanzania. Last night I was in conversation with the Minister of ICT, and he raised a very important issue. He said it is important to be able to determine the impact of things upon the citizens of Tanzania. I could not agree with him more. Whatever we do in terms of supporting Tanzania must have a positive impact, a long-lasting impact, and must never do harm, must never have a negative impact, and must never be only short-term. Aid Data's mission is to advance the cause of data transparency, to enable journalists to accurately assess the value of development dollars. Using the data that was generated about the United States of America and its contributions to Tanzania, I'm very proud to share with you that not based on U.S. information, government information, but based on externally verified information, the United States contributes $2.8 billion annually to Tanzania's development. We are your largest development partner. We have been your largest development partner for years, and we will continue to be your largest development partner as we also find ways to do more in terms of trade and investment. Not only is there direct U.S. effect on the impact of Tanzania, but Tanzanian members of the diaspora who live in the U.S. also contribute $96.4 million US dollars to the Tanzanian economy every year. And our work with PEPFAR through our programs to USAID and the Centers of Disease Control has allowed over 750,000 Tanzanians to live healthy lives by working hard to eliminate HIV. In fact, by 2030, HIV will no longer be a threat to Tanzania. It will no longer be a threat to the African continent because we will work hard together, not only with Tanzania, but with other governments on the African continent to try and eliminate HIV/AIDS by 2030. After Vice President Harris left Tanzania last year in April, she committed that in 2024, we will spend $560 million US dollars simply on bilateral assistance to Tanzania, not counting the multitude of finance that comes from agencies like the Millennium Challenge Corporation, private enterprise, and private philanthropic organizations throughout Tanzania. I want to take a moment of personal privilege, Mr. Prime Minister, and say to you how pleased we are that you have acknowledged publicly your leadership in providing expertise in helping Tanzania address the issues of illegal fishing off of the coast of Tanzania. And I want to commit to you that the United States government is committed to helping you and assisting you, and my office is seeking an audience with you so that we can articulate particular ways that we will be of assistance to you in your noble work. Congratulations, journalists. Congratulations, citizens. Congratulations, Tanzania, for the great things that this country does. And for the group that is the dramatic group for President Samia, I applaud what you do. We applaud what the President of Tanzania is doing. This nation is moving forward. This nation is on the positive trajectory, and we will continue to be your support system.